This is episode 4 of the Sturry Link Road project. This week, we're starting to see a clear shift on site as early groundwork begins to overlap with the main construction phase. Access is a big focus, with the Bellmouth onto the A28 taking shape and new site routes being pushed forward to support the next stage of the build. At the same time, the compound is coming to life. Cabins are delivered and lifted into place, materials are moving in, and groundwork continues across the site, including Kerbs, aggregate, and ongoing preparation works. There's also a noticeable increase in activity, with more plant, more deliveries, and more movement throughout. And towards the end of the week, an incident nearby temporarily impacts access to the site, adding pressure to an already busy phase. This is where the project begins to move beyond preparation and into construction. This access road along the Stour is more than just a track. It's the main route for moving the heavy machinery the project needs, piling rigs, crawler cranes delivered in sections, and steelwork straight onto the site. Running beside the main construction area, it keeps deliveries and plant separate from local roads and other site activity, helping work flow safely and efficiently. Already, it's clear this route is central to the shift from early groundwork to full construction, paving the way for major lifts and structural operations in the weeks ahead. Here at the start of the Bellmouth, you can see the first sections beginning to take shape. A couple of ground crews from Kerbs Construction are on site, laying out the terra membrane to protect and stabilise the ground as the Bellmouth is formed. Part of the path has already been broken out, ready for the next stage of work. As the camera moves around, you can see the compound area starting to come together. Alongside this work, other key activities continue across the site, including archaeological monitoring and beaver mitigation, ensuring the project progresses carefully and responsibly. Alongside the construction work, careful measures are in place to manage the local wildlife. Beaver mitigation is carried out under strict safety guidelines. Personnel working in the water are limited to 2-hour sessions. Always wear dry suits and remain secured with guide ropes for safety. These precautions ensure that the work protects both the site and the animals, allowing construction to proceed responsibly and sustainably. From above, the compound is starting to take shape. You can see the dark squares laid out across the site. These are the prepared bases for the cabins that will form the operational hub for the project. A 60-ton mobile crane is on standby, ready for the lifting operations, while forklifts move cabin bases off the back of delivery vehicles. Over the coming days, more cabins will arrive, gradually transforming the compound into a fully functioning site office and storage area, supporting the next stages of construction. The first cabin arrives on site, carried on the back of an Arctic trailer. It slowly pulls up beneath the 60-ton crane. With careful precision, the crane lifts the cabin off the lorry and swings it into position on its designated base. Kerbstones are now in place on both sides of the road, revealing the emerging shape of the Bellmouth. The pedestrian footpath is also taking form, giving a clear sense of how this section will start to connect to the surrounding area.
Hold fire for a minute then. That's absolutely fine. Whatever I do, I'm not allowed to impede emergency services, so...
Right.
If that's you guys, then I'll let you do your thing and, well...
Yeah, they're literally checking for hotspots, because I didn't know that, but...
I'd have got in trouble if...
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Friday morning was extremely busy on site. A fire at the nearby Mercedes garage blocked the access road, which was due to receive around 600 tonnes of Type 1. At the same time, another 600 tonnes was scheduled for the site compound. With the access blocked, all deliveries were redirected to the compound, which quickly became the hub of activity, the crane in operation and cabins arriving. The pedestrian footpath at the Bellmouth on the A28 was laid first, while the tarmac for the tabletop at the access roads didn't start going down until later that morning, as emergency services remained on scene. Over the course of the week, from the 23rd to the 27th of March 2026, the site has started to take shape. At the start of the episode, there was no Bellmouth. By the end, its outline is clearly visible. We've seen the crane arrive on site, cabins being delivered and lifted into position, and aggregate arriving for the access roads and other key areas. At the end of the week, a fire at the nearby Mercedes garage caused disruption, affecting deliveries and operations. From an observational point of view, the site team, Volker Fitzpatrick, managed the situation within the constraints they faced. As the camera pulls back, the week's progress is captured, a clear snapshot of the early stages of construction, ready to continue in the coming